The year was 1876. The United States, still recovering from a brutal civil war, turned its attention westward. Vast territories teeming with buffalo and inhabited by Native American tribes beckoned. The Black Hills Gold Rush of 1874 further fueled the desire to push into these lands considered sacred by the Lakota Sioux, Cheyenne, and Arapaho. Treaties were signed and broken. The stage was set for a clash of cultures, a collision course that would culminate in one of the most famous battles in American history, the Battle of the Little Bighorn. The U.S. Army, battle-hardened from the recent Civil War, was tasked with subduing the hostile Indians. Among their ranks was the 7th Cavalry, led by a flamboyant and ambitious officer, Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer. A veteran of Gettysburg and other Civil War battles, Custer courted fame and embraced risk. He would need both in the unforgiving landscape of the Montana Territory. Custer's mission was clear: find the nomadic tribes and force them onto reservations. Little did he know that he was riding into the heart of a massive gathering of warriors, led by chiefs like Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse. The fate of the 7th Cavalry, and indeed Custer's own destiny, hung precariously in the balance. The 7th Cavalry rode out from Fort Abraham Lincoln in Dakota Territory on May 17, 1876. Over 600 men strong, they were a formidable force, armed with Springfield Model 1873 trapdoor rifles and Colt revolvers. Custer, ever the showman, rode at their head, his golden hair flowing in the wind. He was confident of victory, eager to add another laurel to his already impressive military record. The expedition was part of a three-pronged campaign to surround and defeat the Lakota and their allies. General Alfred Terry commanded the overall operation, with Colonel John Gibbon leading a second column from the west. Custer's 7th was to approach from the south and prevent the Indians from escaping into the vast expanse of the Yellowstone River Valley. The journey was arduous. The sun beat down relentlessly, baking the prairie. Water was scarce and the men and horses grew weary. Still they pushed on, driven by their orders and the promise of glory. Custer, restless and ambitious, chafed at the slow pace. He yearned for a decisive encounter with the enemy. Guiding the 7th Cavalry were a group of experienced scouts, their knowledge of the terrain and Indian ways invaluable. Among them were men like Mitch Bouyer, a mixed-blood interpreter whose loyalty and skill were renowned. Lonesome Charley Reynolds, a seasoned frontiersman, also rode with Custer. These men were the eyes and ears of the army, their reports shaping Custer's decisions. Relations between the soldiers and scouts were often complex. The soldiers, many of them recent immigrants or former city dwellers, viewed the scouts with a mixture of respect and suspicion. The scouts, in turn, recognized the army's firepower but questioned their understanding of the land and the enemy they faced. As the 7th Cavalry moved deeper into Indian territory, the signs of their quarry grew more frequent. Abandoned campsites, trails of smoke on the horizon, and the distant sound of drums all pointed to a large gathering of Indians ahead. Custer, sensing an opportunity for a decisive victory, pushed his men harder, his confidence growing with each passing mile. The vast grasslands of the Montana Territory seemed to stretch endlessly before the advancing 7th Cavalry. The sun beat down mercilessly, and mirages shimmered on the horizon, playing tricks on the eyes of weary soldiers. The silence was broken only by the creak of saddle leather, the snorting of horses, and the occasional cry of a hawk circling overhead. As they rode, the scouts brought back ominous reports. The Indian trails converged, indicating a massive encampment ahead. Whispers of a great medicine man named Sitting Bull, said to possess powerful spiritual powers, circulated among the soldiers. Fear and anticipation hung heavy in the air. On June 24th, Custer received confirmation of the Indian encampment from his scouts. They had located a massive village, sprawling for miles along the Little Bighorn River. Custer, believing he had the element of surprise, made a fateful decision. He would attack. He divided his command into 3 battalions, intending to surround the village and prevent the Indians from escaping. The sun beat down on the parched earth as Custer's 7th Cavalry approached the Little Bighorn River. The air hung heavy with anticipation. The scouts, their faces etched with concern, had confirmed the presence of a massive Indian encampment just beyond the ridge. Custer, his blue eyes flashing with determination, rallied his men. Orders were issued in hushed tones. The scent of gun oil and sweat hung heavy in the air. Custer, radiating confidence, reminded his men of their duty, of the glory that awaited them. Few, if any, questioned their commander's judgment. They were the 7th Cavalry, the pride of the U.S. Army. They had never known defeat. What the soldiers didn't know was that they were facing not a scattered band of fleeing Indians, but a formidable force of Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho warriors, united under the leadership of Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse. The element of surprise, so crucial to Custer's plan, had been lost. The trap was set, but it was the 7th Cavalry that was walking into it.